Hello, everyone. I'm Phoenix Tremayne, and I'm going to give you my final Days of Lives Beyond Salem's review. It's the five-part miniseries. I just finished watching it, and I'm not a happy camper, but I will say I did enjoy it overall. There were a lot of fun moments. I'm glad I saw it, and I hope that they do another miniseries. And all of the actors involved also have gone online and saying it was fun to do. Lisa Rinna, Eileen Davidson, Zach Tinker, a lot of them, Marlena Deidre Hall. They all said they hope they get a chance to do it again. And this was a fun little soap adventure that I feel dropped the ball in the end. Yes, there were a few nitpicks while watching it, like Billy should have known about Will and Sonny being married, little things like that. Like she's not totally clueless. I mean, Lisa Rinna showed up a year or two ago for one of the storylines for an episode or so. But yeah, I I feel let down. So even though I recommend the show, I sort of feel like this show was not meant for me. I've only been watching Days of Our Lives for about 11 years. So I think I started in 2010 when One Life to Live and All My Children got canceled. And I didn't want General Hospital to be the only soap I was watching. So I added Young and Restless, Bold and Beautiful, and Days of Our Lives. And I've been watching them all ever since. And this story, in the very end, it brought up so much stuff from the past that the way it was written, these details should have been sort of like planted in episode 1. Because I had no idea Shane had a twin. I ain't been watching. I wasn't watching in the 90s. I watched, and I'll go over the list. Now, Sunset Beach, Santa Barbara, Passions, Generations, Lovin', The City, All My Children, One Life to Live, General Hospital, Port Charles. Those are like 10 soaps that I remember watching. There's probably a couple others that I'm not thinking about right now. But Days of Our Lives wasn't on the list. So in the 90s and like the 80s, General Hospital, the Ice Princess, a saga where they're trying to freeze the world and whatnot. I get it. I watched One Life to Live go to Eterna in the Wild West in Heaven. And I didn't watch God and Light. My mother watched God and Light. But I know they had clones and whatnot, passions, witches, and a whole lot of other stuff. So I'm not, a newbie. I understand that some soaps, they go, fantasy, like deep fantasy. I mean, we've been watching Kristen wear masks and body types that she clearly doesn't have for years now. So I assumed Shane would be Kristen in a mask. I didn't know he had a twin. Now, they should have maybe mentioned that earlier, or maybe on the main show, sort of like gave people a reminder that Shane has a twin or something. I know they wanted to be surprised, but I was disappointed that it wasn't just that I didn't know Shane had a twin, but when it really all came down to, okay, the Peacock is actually this tiny little device that can control like satellites all over the world and can shoot lasers that will destroy entire cities. You heard me correctly. The Peacock, once you put the gems in, You push a button on your phone, there's an app where you can control satellites in all of the different places that they've been to on the show, plus Salem, and can destroy those cities with the push of a button. They're going to shoot lasers and destroy the city. Oh, and all these actors had to be on the set with a straight face saying this dialogue. So you telling me a peacock from the 90s can control a satellite from the 2010s? I mean 2020s. They had technology like what was it 30 years ago that can control satellites now 30 years later. Like they had no upgrade since then. We didn't even have the internet back then. So how you get an app that works with the peacock? Just saying. I was just saying WTF. Also, Paulina doesn't know Michelle Obama. She knows Michelle White, the wife of a renowned plastic surgeon. And she's never been to the White House. She went to the White House because Michelle's last name is White. Some of y'all may have thought that was cute, but with as much money as Paulina supposedly has, it wouldn't be, if she was a donor, it wouldn't be, I'm sure Jackie herself probably been to the White House. But, you know, if she, they could have left it just like it was. The little moment of Ben trying to get Shane to make him feel bad for getting rid of his granddaughter. And then it just made me think about Eve and, you know, just familial connections that aren't necessarily, you know, that probably need to be still on the show or whatever. But anyway, that's the past. But I felt it was really too steeped in the past. Kyle was a double agent. I should have saw that coming, but I didn't. Leo, he had a fake emerald. And so that's why the peacock didn't destroy Salem and Switzerland and all the places they were at. Because Leo had switched the emerald, which I could see happening if he planned to double cross him the whole time. I could see him having a fake one to switch out. So that was fine. Leo did give a good speech on Will and Sonny being boring and Chad, you know, being boring, and that he brought a little excitement into their lives. I am tired of Leo getting in bed with guys and trying to make them think that they slept together. You know, been there, done that. And I think that Leo could definitely be a character that can be developed a little more. Someone in the comment section yesterday said, "Oh, you're not watching Days of Our Lives because they're already back from their vacation." No. Beyond Salem and Days of Our Lives, they're not in sync. Clearly, it's Friday and they're still in Miami. So, yeah, they're not in sync. I'm just scrolling through the video right now. It was interesting seeing, you know, Billy and everybody trying to take down Drew and Kyle. The Alamanian guy, I thought he was going to be bigger to the plot, but clearly he wasn't. And I just didn't like that at the very end. They just shoved all of this exposition, which is dialogue explaining you things instead of showing. Hell, I would have been happier and would not be complaining right now if they just showed flashbacks from the past. I would prefer that. That, you know, Bo and Hope did not show up. You know, remember I was telling you in the very beginning how they were using them on the images for Days of Our Lives, even though those are two people that don't want to go back to the show. I just felt like uh, if you've been watching for like 30, 40 years, you probably got more out of it than me. But if you're trying to bring new viewers to the show, that ending was not the way to do it. But overall, I do want more Days of Our Lives miniseries. There are a lot of little moments throughout, that were surprising, especially last episode, that will have general fans of the show will be happy. You did get some Lonnie Eli action. You got some romance, you got some drama, you got some over the top 90s sci fi stuff. So I'm not disappointed I saw it. I'm just sort of disappointed that it was really felt thrown together by the end, because things that happened in the end, there should have been, you know, um, things in the beginning that led you, like a murder mystery, that lead you to those things. Like, I can't go back and think back and go, well, that's a surprise because they planted these clues way back in the first episode. So, that's all. I'd love to know what you think in the comments section, and I will see you in the next video.